What is going on? What is going on? So much is going on. But I'm a little discombobulated today. But I do want to thank you for joining us here for the Mission Ready Men briefing on the SHR Media Network. Today is Thursday, March 6th. And President Trump in the year 2025 has evolved. He has evolved into an incredible orator. And he gave perhaps, in my estimation, he gave his best speech ever the other day in that joint session of Congress. It wasn't officially a State of the Union address, even though a lot of people are calling it that. But that was easily the best speech he has ever given. And there were so many great moments, and the left just, the left made themselves look like the soulless buffoons, and that's as nice as I can put it, that they are. I mean, they just, my goodness. Every blunder you could possibly make in politics, they made. And he invented some new ones. But so there was that, and then the rebuttal was just more typical leftist dribble. And leftist mayors the other day from the sanctuary cities, from 4 sanctuary cities, testified in front of Congress and got smoked, got absolutely smoked. So we got those things and a whole lot more coming up. But I do want to thank you for joining us here on the SHR Media Network. And you can follow this show on all the socials at Mission Ready Men on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, X, Truth Social, and TikTok. And for our merch, head over to missionreadymen.com, click on Shop 7 Armors, and check out this design and all the other great designs that we have over there. All right, I think that is it. So let's get after it. All right, so I mentioned Trump's address to the joint session of Congress, and he had so many great moments. It was glorious to watch. It was absolutely glorious to watch. He roasted them right to their faces on several occasions, and yeah, he roasted them. And one of many of my favorite moments came right at the beginning. It came right at the beginning of the speech, just a couple of minutes in. And he spoke a truth that everyone already knows. It's common knowledge. And let me see if I can pull it up here. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, this was something that everybody knows, but is rarely articulated. But Trump did it perfectly right at the beginning of his speech. Take a look.
And once again, I look at the Democrats in front of me, and I realize there is absolutely nothing I can say to make them happy or to make them stand or smile or applaud. Nothing I can do.
Nope.
I could find a cure to the most devastating disease, a disease that would wipe out entire nations, or announce the answers to the greatest economy in history, or the stoppage of crime to the lowest levels ever recorded. And these people sitting right here will not clap, will not stand, and certainly will not cheer for these astronomical achievements. They won't do it, no matter what. Five times I've been up here. It's very sad, and it just shouldn't be this way. And once
really
again,
shouldn't.
I look at the Democrats.
And like I said, everybody knows this. Everybody knows this. It's just something that people don't say, people don't acknowledge. But I'm glad that he did. I'm glad that he did. And just to further illustrate the point, when President Trump introduced DJ Daniel, who is a 13-year-old cancer survivor. Well, you know what? Let's take a look. Because he introduced him, and this display was simply pathetic. And not only did these leftists not acknowledge him, not clap, not anything like that, but check out what this one rep did.
In 2018, DJ was diagnosed with brain cancer. The doctors gave him 5 months at most to live. That was more than 6 years ago.
Did you catch
Well,
that?
you just saw her. You see her there on the right with the pink glasses on? That was Michigan Democrat Debbie Dingell.
She rolled her eyes. She rolled her eyes at a 13-year-old cancer survivor. And not a single one of the leftists in that, in the house, in the gallery, not a single one clapped. Not a single one stood up to acknowledge him. Just pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. Absolutely showing themselves to be the soulless, evil ghouls that they are. And they wouldn't stand and acknowledge Alexis Nungare when President Trump announced the executive order renaming a wildlife sanctuary after her daughter Jocelyn, who was murdered by 2 illegal aliens that the Biden administration let in the country. They didn't stand and acknowledge the Compertor family, who Corey Compertor shielded them when President Trump was, when they attempted to assassinate President Trump in Butler, Pennsylvania. They didn't stand and acknowledge, clap, or anything when they announced that they captured and the mastermind behind the bombing at the Abbey Gate in Afghanistan was captured and on his way back to the United States for prosecution. They didn't acknowledge. They didn't stand and clap or acknowledge in any way Mark Fogel and his 95-year-old mother, Malphine. I mean, those types of things should transcend left-right politics. It should, but it doesn't with these people. And yeah, there are people who point out that some Republicans didn't stand when Biden did some similar things. I don't recall that. I don't. Maybe it happened. Maybe it didn't. I don't know. And if they didn't stand for a cancer survivor or anything like that, well, then that was wrong too. I'll admit that. But nobody can recall any display like this from either side. So as far as I'm concerned, this is the left. This is their their baby. And even the propagandists on the left at MSDNC acknowledged that this display was completely out of line. The one who's taken over for Joy Reid, I can't remember her name. another bald black lady, whatever. Even she acknowledged it. And I think I have a clip here of another leftist taking them to task on it. And I might not have gotten it, but I'm gonna check. But regardless, it's just a pathetic display. A pathetic display. Hang on a second, because I really want you to see this, and I hope I can pull it up fairly quickly. If not, we will move on because there's plenty to get to. But and it wasn't just those things either. Yeah, here we go. This is Stephen Colbert, and he is an unabashed leftist and a Trump hater to the core. But here he is taking his compadres to task, and I don't generally find him amusing, but this was actually kind of funny. Check it out.
Barked out one appalling claim after another, but don't you worry. The Democrats came ready to fight back with their little paddles, okay? That is how you save democracy, by quietly dissenting or bidding on an antique tea set. It was hard to tell what was going on. I'm just kidding. That was very cool, Democrats. In fact, I made my own sign.
Yeah. I don't know that they really can do anything at this point, quite frankly, because they are just stuck on stupid. I talked about in the last show how there is a small group of Democrats who are trying to put together a plan to bring the Democrat Party back. They don't want it. The power base in the left, in the Democrat Party right now, is so far left and so entrenched that if they keep this trajectory, we're going to have another 8 years, barring some catastrophic mistake by President Trump. We'll have another 8 years of JD Vance, and I wasn't convinced when President Trump first picked him, but he has proven himself to be an outstanding vice president, and I think it's his nomination to lose in 2028. And if he if he governs then the way he's acting now, we'll have 8 years of that, and then who knows if the trajectory keeps going up, the Democrats could be stuck on stupid for quite some time to come, and I am here for it. I am absolutely here for it. And so there was that where President Trump just annihilated the left and delivered, like I said, one of his best speeches. But then came the Democrat rebuttal. And a lot of people are saying that she delivered the best rebuttal that there've been in a long time, and that she did a great job. But she's a typical leftist. She is a typical far right leftist activist. She just knows how to articulate and hide her her radicalism a little better than the rest of them. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that a she was a CIA analyst or operative. I can't remember which one. I think an analyst, but she still clearly has been trained in how to communicate and keep her true agenda hidden. And if you just listen to her rebuttal without a critical ear, you could, I can see how people who just listen to it, who don't really pay attention, I can see how they would be taken in by it and say, oh yeah, that was pretty good. But if you know anything about her, if you did any research on her and you listened to what she was saying with a critical ear, it was really no different than anything you've heard from any of the other leftists out there. And I think they're trying to groom her and push her forward to try and take the place of the AOCs and the Jasmine Ratchets and the Hakeem Jeffries type people. I don't know that that's going to happen because so many of the left have been, and I know a lot of people like to try and separate the far left activists in Washington from the typical Democrat voter, but my interactions since this speech, my interactions with the left have, it's, they don't pay attention. They don't pay attention. A lot of them admit that they don't pay attention. They just see what they want to see and hear what they want to hear, and that's it. So many of them are so against. They're so they've been so gaslit that they believe that everything that President Trump says and does must be evil. But they don't, they can't back any of it up. They just vomit the same talking points that they hear from MSDNC and CNN and all the other American propaganda outlets. But getting back to Alyssa Slotkin, the one who did the rebuttal. I'm not going to play any of the rebuttal because it was all generic leftist nonsense. But just to give you a sense of who she really is, and if you do any digging into her, it took me 5 minutes to find this and a couple of other clips of her talking about her life and how she became a Democrat leftist. Just listen to this, watch this, because this will tell you pretty much all you need to know.
Is green. I don't mind being different. Different is special. I think what matters most is what a person, for as long as I can remember, my favorite color has been pink. My second favorite color is silver, and my third favorite color is green. I don't mind being different. Different is special. I think what matters most is what a person is like on the inside. And inside, I'm happy. I'm having fun. I'm proud. I am Jazz.
And that was her reading from a book about Jazz Jennings. And if you're familiar at all with the gender delusion movement, Jazz Jennings was one of the first children to be mutilated and sterilized in this transgender movement and this gender delusion movement. And her story, that was a book about her story when she was a kid. He was a kid. He's an adult now and is pretty much miserable because his parents allowed him to, not only allowed him, but encouraged his, and I won't even call it a delusion. When you're a kid, I mean, you say and do all kinds of crazy things because your imagination is just all over the place. But his parents indulge that madness, and now he's a miserable adult. And here she is endorsing that. She is a typical leftist, a typical leftist, a typical leftist activist, a far left radical. So as far as I'm concerned, let them keep trotting all these people out there. I'm here for it. I am here for it because it just means that they will continue. As I said, they're stuck on stupid and they will continue to lose. And that's all I want. Well, that's all I want when it comes to this anyway. But that's all I got for that joint address and the rebuttal. It's it's funny to me. It's funny to me to watch these people stay to just double down on this madness, and it's bad for the country. It's bad for the country if we allow it to continue, but it's great for us because we're winning. We're winning, and as long as they keep trotting this madness out, it's gonna be easy pickings for us. But yeah, BZ's in the chat and he says, clearly a typical activist. Please, please, please keep on this path. Yes, please, please. Anyway, we're going to take a quick break. And when we get back, I'm going to tell a little story. And it's one that I thought a lot of people had heard already, but it was brought to my attention that that some people might not have familiar with it. So I'm going to I'm gonna share that with you. But first, a word from our sponsor, and that is Patriot Mobile. Patriot Mobile is the country's only Christian conservative wireless carrier. They share our values, they share our beliefs, and they actually put their money where their mouths are. And it's important for us to support these companies and these organizations that share our values because the votes are great. The votes got it done this time, but we also have to participate in the parallel economy. And Patriot Mobile is heavily involved in the parallel economy, and they are, like I said, putting their money where their mouths are and doing something to fight human trafficking on the border. They're fighting. They're fighting for pro-life causes, and so I know that that's something that you care about. That's something I care about, and so we want to support these businesses that support us. So switch to Patriot Mobile now and get a free month of service with the offer code Jackson. That's a free month of service with the promo code Jackson. Defend freedom with every call and text you make. So go to patriotmobile.com and use promo code Jackson or call 972-PATRIOT and use the promo code Jackson today. All right, y'all. I'm Big E, and you are watching or listening to the Mission Ready Men briefing on the SHR Media Network. You can catch, on SHR Media Network, you can catch Sackhead Sean with The Edge of Liberty every Monday and Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern. The Reaver of Common Sense Jersey Joe every Monday and Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern and 6 p.m. Pacific. And BZ, who's in the chat right now, the Berserk Bobcat Saloon every Tuesday and Thursday at 11 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Pacific. So like and subscribe, share all those shows. Those are great shows. You'll get great insights from all those guys. And pray for us that we have a huge breakthrough this year, because and your prayers are working, because we are seeing our numbers tick up, and that is fantastic to see. But we want to continue to grow and reach as many people as we possibly can. All right. Now, it came to my attention because I talked about the last time how my illness brought me close to God, and some people hadn't really heard that story, and I guess I've talked about it, but haven't really gone into a lot of detail on air. And I'm not going to get into too much detail right now. I am going to try and tell that story. And so, back in the beginning of 2022, I became seriously ill, and we thought it was cedar fever, which happens every year, and then it evolved. It morphed into pneumonia. I caught pneumonia and ended up in the hospital, where I tested positive for COVID. And we, we were a little skeptical as to whether or not I actually had COVID. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. But, excuse me. But that was an ordeal. And I caught, like I said, I caught pneumonia, tested positive for COVID. Was in the hospital for a few days. Came home and started to recover, and then started to get sick again. Ended up back in the hospital, and it turned out that I do think I did have COVID, because it accelerated a condition called myositis, and that caused me to not be able to swallow food. And because of that, at one point, when I swallowed some food, it went down the wrong way and got in my lungs and caused another round of pneumonia. And so all that happened. I was treated for the pneumonia. I was treated for the myositis, and I had a feeding tube for a while, and it was an ordeal for me and my wife. And it was serious. It was to the point where we both were thinking, that I might not make it. Excuse me. And so that was rough on everybody. And it got to the point where I just wanted to, I asked God to heal me. And my parents were here praying for me. Yes, she is, BZ. Yes, she is. BZ just said my wife is a great lady. I didn't think it'd be this tough. But yeah, I asked God to heal me, and if he saw fit to do that, I would spend my life serving him. And so here we are. Here we are. That healing pretty much happened immediately. The next day, things were getting better. I had an appointment a couple of days after that, and the doctors were surprised that that I was turning around so quickly. Um, they used the word remarkable for my turnaround. They had never seen anything like it. They'd seen people with similar conditions and never seen anyone come back the way I did as quickly as I did. And of course, I attribute all that to the power of God and His healing. And so that's how Mission Ready Men was born, because I had the podcast, the Liberty Cast, where I talk about a lot of the same things, but I never really, well, of course, I never talked about God because that wasn't a part of my life at the time. And so when I became well enough to resume the show, we changed it up because we wanted to. I mean, it's obvious to everyone who pays any attention that men in this country and around the world, and I'm focusing obviously on this country, men are under attack. Men are under attack from all sides. You can see it in the way men are portrayed in entertainment. Men are portrayed as buffoons. Men are portrayed as useless. You see the movement of women where they just don't. Men are seen as useless. Men are seen as something that is to be discarded. And a lot of men are falling into that trap. They're falling into that. They're falling into that mindset where they don't feel like they need to step up and do anything. And what I wanted to do with this was present the issues of the day, the politics of the day, and present them in a way for men to understand and for men to step up and take control and step up and step into the role that God ordained for us. Because we have, and I've talked about this, we have a mandate from God to lead, protect, provide for our families and for our communities. And so when I know I'd gotten away from talking about that for a while because there was so much going on with the election and stuff like that. But I wanted to get back to it because I think it's important. And I didn't want to just have it be the Liberty Cast and just a rebranded Liberty Cast. I wanted to make sure that it was different in some way, in this way. And so that's what we're going to be doing. That is my testimony. And if you have any questions, if you have any thoughts, please feel free to reach out. I'll be happy to talk about it some more. But that's the direction that we're going. God healed me, and I want to honor my promise to Him and serve Him and spread His word. But I also want to keep us informed. I also want to provide my insights into the news of the day that from that biblical perspective. And so that's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to continue to do. And I think that's going to do it for that for now. Feel free to chime in and chat if you have any questions. But we're going to move on really quick. because there are a couple of other things I want to get to before we get you out of here today. And one of the things that happened this week that I want to get into because it's kind of hilarious is the mayors of these sanctuary cities excuse me, were brought in to testify in front of Congress. And it went about as bad as you could possibly imagine. And it was, I didn't watch the whole thing. And it was 6 hours long. But I caught some highlights and just, you know what, let's, one of my favorite ones is, I don't really talk about a lot of these cities much because it's and it's not that it's a local thing. It's just that's not really my focus. Is these even though they're leftist buffoons, but it's not really something that I focus in on. Maybe I should. I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you think I should. But Brandon Johnson is one of the mayors who showed up in Washington, and he is one of the dumbest. If you can believe this, he is a worse mayor than Lori Beetlejuice Lightfoot. And I never thought I would say that about anyone. But they went from terrible to catastrophic with Brandon Johnson. He's at a 6% approval rating right now in the city of Chicago. Unbelievable. Even for the left, that's unbelievable. But here's one of his lowlights when Byron Donald is asking him some questions, he's asking questions of all of them. But Byron Donald, he's great. I think I would rather see him stay in Congress, but I think he's going to be a great governor of Florida because I don't see anyone except for maybe Casey DeSantis if she decides to jump in the race. Maybe she can beat him. I don't know. But anyway, here is Byron Donald talking to these mayors, and this is just one of many. Check this out.
Mayor Johnson, coming back to you, how much did your city spend on illegal immigration? Do you have a number?
Over the last couple of years on all newcomers, whatever their status was, it's around 79 million since 2022.
79 million. Mayor Johnson, Chicago. How much has the city of Chicago spent on illegal immigration?
If you're referring to the 2022 up to 2024 of the buses coming from Texas, roughly the same percentage of the state of Texas, about 1% of our overall budget.
What is that? Because we don't have the city's budget in front of me. Numbers.
It's 1%. And if you want the actual calculation, we can make sure someone.
You're the mayor. You don't have the math in front of you.
It's 1% of the overall budget over the last 4 years.
That's why you're a failing
which
mayor.
is
Mayor
the same
Adams,
number that
how
was
much did
sent
the city
from
of
us
New York
from the
actually
state
spend
of
on
Texas.
illegal immigration? Mayor Johnson, I already asked you. You don't have a hard number. And if you don't have a number, you're not running your city well. Mayor Adams, how much did the city of New York actually spend on illegal immigration?
6.9 billion of taxpayers.
$6.9 billion of taxpayer money on a problem that was fostered on the American people. Mayor Wu, in the city of Boston, how much did you spend?
We don't ask about immigration status and delivering city
You don't
services,
ask
so
about
we
how
don't
much
have
money
that
the city
number.
of Boston has spent on illegal immigration?
We
Are you
don't
out of your
distinguish
mind?
between immigration status.
Do you
as
manage
part
your
of our
budget
city
or not,
policy.
Mayor Wu?
That is how we keep
Mayor
our city
Wu,
safe.
do you manage
We
your
have
budget?
Wow. Just, and that wasn't even the best one. That wasn't even the best one. I got a few more clips I want to show you, but just how do you come to Washington knowing you're going to be asked these questions and not be prepared? And I think that just speaks to Brandon Johnson's overall approach. I think he's lazy. I think he's stupid. And he pretty much proved it when he came to Washington and tried to answer questions, which he didn't do particularly well. Because there's another one that yeah, here we go. This is a rep from Texas, Brandon Gill, and he pretty much destroys them. This is a longer clip. This is 2 minutes and 34 seconds. I'm not going to play the whole thing, but this was another one where he's completely lost. He is completely lost. He has no idea what he's doing.
Topic. Mayor Johnson, I want to start with you. One of your first actions as mayor was establishing a deputy mayor for immigrant, migrant, and refugee rights. I want to ask you a series of questions. If you could answer with a yes or no answer, that'd be great. First of all, do you support allowing illegal aliens to obtain driver's licenses? Just yes or no.
So the city of Chicago has been a welcoming city for over 40 years.
I'll take that as a yes. Next question.
And that's the policy that we will hold to.
Do you support tax dollars subsidizing or paying for the health care of illegal aliens?
I support investments in all residents of the people of Chicago, and that's what I do.
That's a yes as well. Do you support free or reduced college for illegal aliens?
Again, I support the investments of all residents of the people of Chicago.
That is a yes. Next question. Do you support allowing non-citizens to vote in local elections?
Again, I'm not over the jurisdiction of that type
You're
of
the
law.
mayor.
But again, I'm committed to investing in all residents of the people
I'll
of Chicago.
take that as yes. I got an article from the Chicago Sun-Times, and I'll quote here briefly. Johnson proposed, among other things, that all residents, regardless of citizenship status, be able to vote for Chicago Board of Education members. Next question. Your website states, and this is your campaign website, quote, "I will not stop fighting until abortion access is completely secure for people all over the country," end quote. Yes or no, do you support taxpayer-funded abortions for illegal aliens?
I support the reproductive rights of all people, all women.
That is a yes.
Wow. I mean, he is a hot mess. His taxpayer, his citizens and their money means absolutely nothing to him. Nothing. Chicago doesn't have a recall mechanism, unfortunately, because they tried. They talked about that with Lightfoot, and they couldn't do it. And they're actually looking into implementing one so that they can get him out of there, because he's going to run Chicago into the ground if he's allowed to continue his full term. But it wasn't just that. Here is another one. And this is another long clip that I'm not going to play the whole thing. Thought I had a shorter one, but this is the one I picked. But Nancy Mace, and I got this one, and then I got one more that we're going to play for you. But Nancy Mace, she pretty much destroyed all these mayors. And I have some issues with Nancy Mace. She's on the right side of most issues, but she's well, anyway, that's a story for another time. But let's take a look at Nancy Mace's
working to
destruction.
harm the American people you represent. You all have blood on your hands. I'm going to ask a series of yes or no questions today, and I would like to remind all of you, you are under oath. I only want a yes or a no to my questions. My first question, do you acknowledge breaking into our country is a crime? Mayor Adams, yes or no? Do you acknowledge breaking into our country is a crime?
I acknowledge.
Yes or no?
I acknowledge.
Okay, Honorable Johnson, he's not going to answer the question. Yes or no? Is breaking into our country against the law? Yes or no?
Depends how you cross the border.
Okay,
Some folks
Mayor
have
Johnson,
status.
yes or no?
Comprehensive
Okay,
immigration
that's not an
reform
answer.
policies
Mayor
are what's
Wu?
necessary in this
Mayor Wu,
moment.
do you have a better answer than these gentlemen before you? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, do you believe it's acceptable for illegals who commit heinous crimes be released back into the public instead of being detained and deported? Mayor Adams, yes or no?
Anyone break a crime?
Yes or no?
detained.
This is not hard. Yes or no?
Anyone that break a crime should be detained.
Okay, Mayor, yes or no?
They should be deported.
Okay, Mayor.
Any individual that
Yes or
causes
no?
harm
Yes or
and
no?
breaks
Okay,
the
Mayor
law
Wu.
should be held
This
accountable.
is why you have 6% approval rating, because you suck at answering questions. Mayor Wu? Yes or no?
Anyone who's a public safety threat should be prosecuted.
All right, I have my next question. When an illegal alien rapes a woman, do you believe you're on the right side of history? Mayor Adams, yes or no?
Can we say that question again?
Okay, Mayor Johnston. When a legal alien rapes a woman, do you believe you're on the right side of history? Yes or no?
I will charge and prosecute them.
Yes or no? Okay, well, okay. You said you would go to jail, didn't you?
I will
For
charge
harboring
and
illegal
prosecute anyone
aliens
who
or
does
something,
that.
Mayor Johnson?
Could you repeat your question, please?
When an illegal alien rapes a woman, do you believe you're on the right side of history?
Could you clarify that question?
Okay, Mayor Wu, yes or no?
No, rape
It
is
wasn't a hard question.
obviously
Then
horrible.
why are you letting rapists back out onto the streets of Boston?
That is not true. That is
Okay.
not what's happening in
When
Boston.
an illegal alien molests a kid, molests
Yes,
an
it
underage kid, do you pat yourself on the back for being compassionate? Mayor Adams?
It's despicable and he should be arrested.
Mayor Johnston?
I prosecute folks that commit crimes like that.
You guys let him out on the streets. Mayor Johnson?
We arrest violent criminals in the city of Chicago.
Mayor Wu?
We investigate, arrest, and prosecute.
You guys don't sound very confident today.
Yeah, that goes on for another couple of minutes. She embarrassed Mayor Wu from Boston when she held up a quote that basically contradicted her answer. I'm not gonna play the whole thing, but Mayor Wu just got blasted. But finally, the last one I want to play for you guys is Anna Paulina Luna. And Anna Paulina Luna is not playing around. She had some questions for him, and then she lowered the boom on them, and it was another glorious thing to watch. Check this out.
So you don't believe that banning the transfer of individuals into ICE custody for the purpose of civil immigration enforcement encourages illegal immigration into Chicago? Or how about agencies, sorry, 1 second, or agents not being able to stop, arrest, or detain individuals based solely on their immigration status or administrative warrants?
So we comply with all laws, local, state, and federal.
To me, after this line of questioning, it's very clear that these policies that you have all implicated are active and alive and well in your cities, are in direct violation with U.S. Title 8, Code subsection 1324, and is a federal offense. But you all speak about a broken immigration system, and yet here you guys are aiding and abetting in that entire process. I want to be very clear about something. Open border policies, which is something that you guys are talking about, hurts people on both sides, meaning the people that are coming here illegally and then American citizens as well. I do not think you guys are bad people, but I think that you are ideologically misled, which is why, unfortunately, based on your responses, I'm all going to be criminally referring you to the Department of Justice for investigation. And as soon as I leave here, these will be going over to Pam Bondi. I'm not doing that in an effort to bully you guys, but I do believe that your policies are hurting the American people, and you can make that known with the evidence that you can present to the Department of Justice. But if you guys continue doing what you're doing, you're not going to help anyone. You're going to hurt more people. And that's exactly why I'm tired of it. The American people are tired of it. And Chairman, I yield my time.
That is BZ's in the chat. He said, "Stop quoting criminal codes to morons." Yeah, seriously. They don't care. They don't care because it's all about their virtue signaling and making them feel good. But I don't know that much is going to come of these referrals. I'm not sure about Pam Bondi yet, and I don't think Eric Adams. I think he's got a deal already in place with the DOJ. I don't think anything's going to happen with him. And the other three, we'll see. We'll see if she does investigate them and prosecute them, then that will go a long way towards my being able to trust Pam Bondi. Because right now, my trust level with her is very, very low, especially between her handling of Second Amendment issues when she was in Florida and the way she handled the Jeffrey Epstein files thing. She's got a lot of making up to do as far as I'm concerned. All right, a couple more things. We're got about 8 minutes left. A couple more things I wanted to talk about. And President Trump, the other day, he met with a number of the hostages who have been released by Hamas, and I didn't watch the some of the footage that was released from those meetings. I'm not sure that there was much really to be gleaned from it anyway, but his response afterwards is outstanding. And he basically just issued a warning to Hamas. And it turns out he's been actually talking directly to Hamas without going through Israel. And he issued this statement. Shalom Hamas means hello and goodbye. You can choose. Release all of the hostages now, not later, and immediately return all of the dead bodies of the people you murdered, or it's over for you. Only sick and twisted people keep bodies, and you are sick and twisted. Oh, man. I love this guy. I am sending Israel everything it needs to finish the job. Not a single Hamas member will be safe if you do not do as I say. Yes. I have just met with your former hostages whose lives you have destroyed. This is your last warning for the leadership. Now is the time to leave Gaza while you still have a chance. Also, to the people of Gaza, a beautiful future awaits, but not if you hold hostages. If you do, you are dead. Make a smart decision. Release the hostages now, or there will be hell to pay later. President Donald J. Trump. Yes. My only quibble with that is I am on record as saying that we should not be sending foreign aid to anyone. And for me, that includes Israel. I am a huge supporter of Israel. I love Israel. But as long as there are people in this country, like the people in North Carolina and other places that have been dealing with natural disasters, even people in California, even though I'm not a huge fan of that place, but they're U.S. citizens who are suffering. And as long as there are U.S. citizens suffering and not being helped, then we shouldn't be sending aid to anyone else. If it's already been appropriated and this is just an extension of that, okay. And that's a small quibble because, like I said, Hamas needs to be destroyed. Hamas needs to be destroyed. So people, I guess, could call me a hypocrite for being somewhat okay with it. I don't know. I don't care. If he wipes out Hamas, it's all good in my book. But this this statement was perfect. I absolutely loved it. All right, one last thing before we get you out of here. We got about 5 minutes left. And we've talked extensively about how inept, how ridiculous, how sad, how just pathetic the left is. And as if we needed more proof. As if we needed more proof. And there's a couple of clips, but I couldn't find the right one for Jasmine Ratchet. It's playing on my screen right now. I'm going to show it to you in a second. These people are absolutely ridiculous. They don't know. They not only think we're stupid, but they think that they think that we're so easily placated by their ridiculous antics that it's even tough for me to describe, because I can't think of anybody that I think that little of. I mean, obviously I can't stand the left. I think they're complete morons. But this display, all right, take a look at this, because I want to know who they think they are, who they think they're catering to, who they think this is going to, who they think this is going to sway in any way. And I'm sure you've seen online before some of these choose your fighter things. Well, here's the left's take on it. What is this? What is this? This is absolutely insane. Just what what is that? What do they think they're accomplishing with that? And how much time did they waste doing that instead of doing the people's business? Just I I really don't know what to say about that. That's just I know, right, BZ? BZ says he's so convinced of their power and strength right now. Just absolutely pathetic. Pathetic. I don't even know what more I can say about that. I really don't. Just, yeah. I'm not usually at a loss for words, but I got nothing. I got nothing else for that. Oh boy. Anyway, folks, that is all I got for you this time. I will try to do better on the next one. Please remember to hit the like button, subscribe, and share these videos. And subscribe to SHR Media, and subscribe to the Reverb Common Sense, The Edge of Liberty, and BZ's Berserk Bobcat Saloon. Subscribe. Leave comments, interact. We'd love to chat with you, and because we would love to get the word out. We want to, especially here on Mission Ready Men, we want to spread the gospel of Jesus Christ and the message of hope and liberty to as many people as we possibly can. And all the guys at SHR have, like I said, unique perspectives and unique insights that we want to make sure everybody can hear, because we want to preserve what we have for future generations. Also, if you like the shirt I'm wearing, Christian, straight male, unwoke, how else can I offend you today? Head over to missionreadymen.com, shop 7 Armors, and check out all the cool designs that we have over there that have a message of faith and patriotism. missionreadymen.com, shop 7 Armor. And as always, when seconds count, the police are only minutes away, but the Lord is right there with you. So keep your prayers going up and your head on a swivel. God bless.